Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Come one, come all. It's time for game number 2 between Creator.Prime and MarineKing.Prime in the Gigabyte Nvidia Invitational. The winner of this is going to go on to face off against Nurchio in the Grand Finals. So we've got a Korean guaranteed to be in the Grand Finals, obviously the winner of this set. And we've got a European waiting there, and we will see who can take it down. Now, but first, before we get there, we've got to find out what happens in this set. And this is game 2 of a best of 5. Creator is going to be the blue Protoss. It's spawning at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, Ohana. And at the top left-hand corner, we do have his opponent. His name is MarineKing.Prime. And this map I really do like. When you think of Ohana, you think of like a Hawaiian paradise or an island. It's been around for about a month now, and I really do like the layout of the map. I think it's a pretty fair map overall as well. You might think, hey, it's a kind of small one, so Zerg has a hard time, but I've played a lot of Zerg play on it now, and with the openness of the middle of the map, it can be pretty easy for Zerg to get flanks. Don't know why I'm talking so much about Zerg, because we are looking at a TVP right now. And anything goes here in this game. We really saw MKP in the first one go for gas before barracks. And that totally psyched out Creator when he sent out his scouting probe and he was inside the main base. He saw the early gas and then he said, well, that's kind of weird. And he decided to cancel off his Nexus and go right away into a forge and cannon. Unfortunately, he didn't build a cannon in his mineral fields, and I'm a little still curious as to why you wouldn't, you know? When you see gas before racks, you'd think maybe an early Reaper, early Banshee, early something, you know, some type of early fast tech, and usually that involves attacking your mineral fields, but apparently Creator thought that most of the harass would come through the front door and he built the cannon at the front. I would have built the cannon in the mineral line, but regardless, Creator took a heavy loss last one, really got outplayed by MarineKing, who sent in four Hellions, and he made it look easy. So there you guys have it, some you know, team play trickery for you guys, as both these guys are from the same team Prime. Now Probe finally is able to dance around with the SCV and lets itself get inside, and we do have 2 barracks as well as a CC coming up, and that is a CC first from MarineKing. So MarineKing now has completely switched gears. He's changed up everything now, and he's gonna go for a command center first. Now, before everyone gets themselves into a situation where they think it's gonna be a macro game and they're gonna sit back and relax, hold your horses, because I remember casting a game with MarineKing. I'm not too sure who he was playing against. It was in the IPL5 Korean Regional, and MKP went for a command center first, only to follow that up with an all-in with SCVs and Marines. And so the thing about MarineKing, man, is when you play against him, you just gotta be prepared for everything. And I think that might be one of the reasons why Creator threw up a cannon at the front door, because you just don't know. So you throw up a cannon at the front and you're just safe, you know, against most things. But yeah, we'll just have to see, man. MKP is going for that command center, and he's going to land it down. But he has 2 Raxes in the background. He raxed up pretty quickly, along with the 2 gases. This is actually what you want to do when you go CC first. You want to get the 2 Raxes. From there, you usually want to get 2 gases right away as well, simply because you don't want to fall behind against the Protoss tech. Otherwise, you know, if you fall behind in tech against Protoss, they're already the technologically advanced race. That's just adding on more problems that you don't want to deal with as Terran. And Creator now going to go right away into Robo Bay. That is a 1-gate Robo. Huh. So he's not going to go Charge Lot Archon this game, at least not right away, but rather going to go for the quick Robo. So most likely going to get the early Observer out, but I wonder if he's going to go for Fast Colossus this game. Obviously, Colossus still used quite a bit in all matchups, in fact all 3, because it's such a great unit to have. But I do feel like a lot of times Protoss favored Charge Out Archon over Colossus because of how easily countered by Vikings they are. But we'll see if Creator can pull this off. He is adding on some gates right now. That is 4 gates more to add on to the Robo. And whoa, where is the Robo? There it is. Okay, so that's 3 more gates in a Robo. 2 more gases being added on at the natural, so almost certainly going to have pretty fast Colossus here from Creator, who's adding on his forges right now. And it looks like MKP going to wall off the front door with a bunker and supply depots. And that's pretty smart, you know, you don't want to let, even though you're not playing against Zerg, as a Terran player, you have the ability to, you're the only race that can wall off and lower your wall, you know, and let your units pass on through without having to blow it up, say like Protoss having to kill off their own cybernetics core or gateways. So why not make use of it? And it looks like MKP is doing just that, utilizing every tactic he possibly can to get that edge in this game. He is one game ahead right now in this set. He's adding on a starport, and he's got the reactor coming on his factory, so it's looking like he's going to go right into bioplay. Already has quite a bit of Marines and a Marauder on the field right now. And no support bay yet from Creator. He's actually going to go Immortals. Alright, so he's going to go Immortals instead of the fast Colossus that I thought he was going to do. And getting the +1/+1 as well. So perhaps just going to go with a Gateway Robo Army and then add on Charge on Archon? Yeah, there we go. So there's the Twilight Council coming right now. And he's kind of going to go for a mix now. He's going to have some Immortals in his army to deal with Marauders and any other armored units he might run into. It's unlikely we'll see tanks, obviously. But he's going to have the Immortal. And now he's going to have Charge on Archon, which is a much easier composition to use against Terran, in my opinion, than Colossus and standard Gateway fodder units. So that's what we have coming on right here from Creator, who's got the Twilight Council coming, and he's got +1/+1 starting up, or about to finish rather. And there's the Blink upgrade on the way. We'll see Blink first usually, and then Charge, and maybe he'll just go for a mix of everything, man. He's adding on the support bay as well, so we're gonna have Colossus, Blink Stalkers, Charge on Archon, just make it as confusing as possible for the Terran player, who for now still is just kind of playing the macro game just as his teammate is. Or rather opponent, teammate and opponent. Creator has a great observer positioning as well. You can see everything coming out of the main base, knows the composition of his opponent, which is just purely bio right now, Marine Marauder Medevac, and it looks like Marine King here is going to go for an attack, man. He's got concussive shells, stim pack, and +1 armor about to finish up. So 3 upgrades all timed here for a pretty substantial attack. The Observer coming down to check and keep tabs on this army. It will cross over with the factory. That is kind of like the Terran version of the Observer, except it doesn't see any cloaked units. But right now, Creator is in a lot of trouble, man. He's only got 3 sentries and an Immortal and some Zealots. He's going to have to get perfect force fields to hold this off. But there's the cavalry. Reinforcements of Stalkers have arrived, and that should be enough for Creator to hold this off, but it looks like MKP not deterred, gonna go in here, has to be careful about those force fields, so the force field's cutting off his Marines, but not enough force field energy, it seems like, to keep this army split apart. There comes another force field. MKP getting in here and doing some damage. How many worker kills does he have? 11, 12, 13, 14. Great target fire by the patrol of Marines on the right side. Eventually the army is eradicated, but MKP just got so cost efficient with that. He killed off 15 workers, and you know what? Now he can just pull all of his rallying troops back home and re-macro. He's got to re-macro quickly too, because he did lose his entire army there, and he traded it for economy of the enemy player. So the threat of a counterattack is there, and it looks like Creator, wasting no time right now, knows that he just lost some workers and he's got to make a counter-strike. Going in here with just Stalkers though, and unfortunately Stalkers, even when Blink is enabled, they're not the best unit against Marine Marauder. And typically Protoss get Blink just so Stalkers can combat the Vikings or for them to harass the Terran player, but if you're going to engage on open ground here, you need Colossus backup, and it looks like Creator, you know, brings up his Colossus and now deciding that he's going to fall back. Wow, a lot of SCVs being pulled off the line as well for MKP. Apparently that Colossus made a pretty scary stance against him, and he got a little freaked out, thinking, hey man, I did lose some of my army, and I don't have the biggest army right now because I lost it all, you know, trading for probes. So he pulls off his SCVs, but now decides, okay, I think I'm safe, and I'm going to send them back to mining. And right now he is leading way ahead in the Harvester department, 71/57, and it looks like he's going to go for a stim here, but the Stalkers immediately blink away, and that kind of sucks, because for Terran that does cost energy from the medevacs. For the Protoss that costs nothing. And there we once again have technological superiority as the Stalkers kind of laugh in disdain against the Marauders and Marines. But now we do have that support bay researching extended thermal lances, and so the Colossus are soon going to get that additional range, which makes them such a dangerous threat to deal with. Both players here getting upgrades, but it does look like MKP has fallen behind. He's got 2-2 finishing up, but the Protoss has already started 3-3. So he is a little bit lagging right now when it comes to upgrades. And don't forget about that extended thermal lance. I mentioned it before, but that is such a big upgrade to keep tabs on. When it finishes, which is about to right now, those Colossus become extra powerful. And we do see Vikings now on the map. We need Terran Vikings on the field to counter the Colossus, but right now there are only 3, it seems like, 6, excuse me, and it's not really enough. You kind of need about 9 to 12. Depending on how many Colossus there are, and when there's 3, I do think 12 is a good number to have, but right now it looks like MKP still kind of holding the edge in this game. Gonna come in with a big attack here, has a bunch of forces, going to Viking down the Colossus first, and good concave from him, but all the charge slots just shredding through the Marines and Marauders, and there you guys have it. It looks like those Colossus and Zealots just doing so much damage to the bio ball of MKP as he was charging in, and now he's in full retreat, man. He wasn't really able to do much at all, save killing off 2 Colossus, but I think he just kind of gave up the edge he had in this game, because right now this attack, this counter attack from Creator is all the way back on his side, and MKP has to continue pulling back. MKP right now in a lot of trouble, man. I think he might have just overcommitted a little bit too much, and even though his concave was better, even though he had the edge in this game, you have to be worried when the Protoss is Creator, and he's got, you know, that much Colossus on the field, and he just didn't have enough Vikings to take out the Colossus fast enough, and as a result he lost all of his units, and now it looks like he just lost another command center. So now it is 3 bases to 3 bases, and Creator certainly looking like he's going to get back in this game. Do we have a comeback on our hands? Don't forget, 3-3 will finish up right about now. So Creator's got an upgrade advantage as well before the Terran finishes his 3-3, and he could certainly look to make a counterattack and do some serious additional damage. One thing I would like to see the Protoss incorporate right now, though, is Templars for Storm. He already has Archons on the field, but if he can research Storm, he can add on so much additional AoE firepower besides the Colossus and the Archon. From a range, you can hit with the Storm, you can really shred those Marines apart. Right now, it does look like MKP, you know, he's got a lot of Marines and Marauders, and they're pretty tightly clumped up, and it looks like Creator's gonna go on in here, but MKP's got a lot of Marines and Marauders. He's still got a kite against the Zealots first, and now spreading them out against the Archons. This is gonna be a pretty close fight, but the last Colossus will die off. A reinforcing Colossus arrives, and this could be a breath of life for Creator, who looked like he was gonna lose that battle, but with that additional Colossus coming in, no way, Jose. Those 3-3 upgrades kicking in so hard right now, and MKP trying to maybe evacuate his Marauders inside the medevac, but couldn't do it, knowing the Stalkers had Blink, has fallen back his Marauders to the left. They are going to get roasted and toasted. And now on the south of the 3rd expansion, it looks like Marines are trying to go after the pylon, but immediately taken out by reinforcing Protoss warp-ins. And now Creator is looking so strong. This is unbelievable. He just pulled a crazy comeback after he was down by so many Harvesters. Workers killed right now, still in big favor of MKP, man. It's 15-5. But Creator's got the bigger army, he's got the better upgrades, and now the SCVs are getting pulled off the line. This is going to be so bad for Marine King. I don't even know if it's worth pulling off SCVs into a ball of Archon and Colossus. And now it looks like Creator is just going to rip on through this base, man. No hope at all for MKP, running his SCVs over to the back. And it will lose 2 command centers for you know, really no gain at all. He still has no map control. Complete turnaround of events here. Force field comes out, and Blink comes forward, and it definitely look like Creator just SCVs coming out to attack the Colossus, and Creator's like, lol, pulls away and lasers them down. And now, wow, it looks like MKP going to drop the 2nd game against his teammate Creator.Prime, and that is going to push this game to a 3rd game. 1-1 is the current score. It is a best of 5, but wow, that was a pretty exciting one. I can't believe that the Protoss was able to come back after I thought he sustained a lot of damage. And you know what? He didn't go for Storm at all. He just went Colossus, and the Colossus owned with those upgrades, you know. And I still want to just kind of pull back and look at this battle right here, this attack. It was a few moments before this, I believe. where MKP decided, you know what, I've got a big army, I'm going to go ahead and push out and see what happens. And if you look at the supply, it's 163 to 134, and it's continuing, the gap is like continuing to get larger and larger. 80 harvesters to 62, and you know what, I think it was just the lack of Vikings. He went in with only 6 Vikings. And when there's 3 Colossus, the thing about it is you really need enough Vikings, like 10 to 12, to take out the Colossus rapidly enough to the point where they don't do enough damage to your army as you're going in. And if you look at this, the 6 Vikings just take so long to kill off the Colossus. And during that time, these 3 Colossus, man, they are having a heyday. They shred everything underneath. And by the time MKP realized what was going on, I think it was just a little bit too late. And so, you know what, he lost a lot of army in this fight. Despite killing off all the Colossus, it might not have been worth it. And it does look like Creator was able to take this game. So, hope you guys enjoyed. We're going to go on to game 3 of this set, and I'll see you guys there. HD, signing out.